1 second. Oh, I wished he would. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, he'd fire a dynamite arrow and dip.
He's still with you guys. He's still with you guys, right?
He is, yeah.
Because I just seen him spawning behind you.
Crow, make sure you tell D. Leezy not to shoot any Unforgiven members, bro. Somehow tell
Alright,
him
I'm gonna
that.
go.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go to a game chat real quick.
Yeah, just tell D. Leezy to keep his guns in his holster.
He's got a beer. He's a good guy. It's alright.
I can't control D. Leezy, okay? He's black, alright? He does what he wants to do.
Yeah, I know.
Slavery's over.
He's a death cunt, I know.
He just does what... Why the fuck can't I sit down? There you go. Right, okay, so let me get my phone up because we're streaming now. And just check.
Alright, don't forget to send me the link.
No, I won't. I won't 100%. I just want to do this check.
He is on stand down.
Good, thank you, cheers, Carl. Right, so I can see all those beautiful faces now. Right, so I'm going to just check I can hear my own voice. Right, I can hear my own voice. Crow, just say some random waffle.
Mic check 2 1 2.
Crow, just say some random waffle.
Mic check 2 1 2.
Right, Crow, you're good. Dutch, just say some random waffle.
Shires sucks ass.
Right, Crow, you're good. Dutch, just say some random waffle. Shires sucks ass. Yeah, we got that. Who's next? Mississippi?
Testing.
We got that. Who's next? Mississippi?
Testing.
Right, you're good. What about you, Fuzzy Bear?
Can you hear me now?
Right, you're good. What about you, Fuzzy Bear?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, Fuzzy Bear's good. M-Pack?
Unforgiven, bitch.
Yep, Fuzzy Bear's good. M-Pack?
Mississippi got disconnected.
Very good, very good. That's alright, you can stay in the party chat still, you'll still be there. Who else am I missing? Mississippi, M-Pack, Fuzzy Bear. Who's the last person?
Genova.
Genova, sorry, Genova. Genova, speak.
Genova test. Like,
Genova, sorry, Genova. Genova, speak.
Genova test.
Good. Right. Everything is set up. Everyone can be heard. Okay, let me do the links now then. And then we'll begin, yeah?
Sure.
Cool.
I really wish I could shoot that fucking pianist.
Yeah, really.
It's classic shit, man. Y'all chill out.
At Christmas time, he was playing Christmas music.
Right.
Yeah.
Just give me a couple of minutes, bro. Oh my god, I'm pressing random shit. Here we go.
You know, something about Van Horn. The smell, the blood-splattered walls, the fog that rolls in almost every day. Think it's the most charming town in New Hanover.
Right, here you go, Dutch. I'm going to send the link over to you now.
Cool.
Not on Facebook, though.
Yeah.
I'll do it on PSN, that's where you're safe.
He's
There you
behind
go.
bars right now.
There you go. I've put it on Tumbleweed, and I've put it on. Let me put it in the group chats. A couple of our guys was asking for it as well.
My post block ends tomorrow, by the way.
Okay.
My original account.
Your original count. You got so many, bro. It's hard to keep count.
Can't hold him down.
Like, if Johnny and I, if all our alt accounts were occupied by clones, we'd have like a fucking army to take over the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you and Johnny are definitely up there as two of the most accounts I've ever seen. I think Johnny said he's on 32 now. 32. Jesus.
I don't know, man. I've had so many accounts that I made it got taken down like 5 minutes later, and that's where he's at right now. He's also like, as soon as he makes a new account, it just gets flagged right away.
Yeah, they report them as fake. That's what they do. They report them as fake profiles.
Even if even if you use your real name, you're still fucked when it gets to that point.
Okay.
He's been placed on a watch list at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so is everybody kind of ready? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll begin the interview now, okay? So, everyone watching and listening, welcome to another edition of the Tumbleweed Tribune. We welcome our guests, the Unforgiven gang. We have the leader of us, Dutch Lens, and members, M-Pack, Fuzzy Bear, Mississippi Jew, and Genova. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming on. As the interviewers, we've got me, Hellhound Rivers, and we've also got the Nightmare Crow. Okay guys, well thanks for coming on tonight to have a chat with us about the Unforgiven and so on. First of all, just to start things off, give the people listening a little bit of an insight to the Unforgiven gang. So tell us how you was formed, how many members you've got, and what you're about.
Well, pretty much as you already know, and I think most people that matter know, like we actually used to be with the Renegade. Well, not all of us, obviously, but me and Adam and Owen. And there were just some differences, and yeah, we pretty much, like, at that time we weren't really into all the drama on Facebook anymore, you know. Like, obviously we are right now. We're in the middle of all that shit, and we're loving it. But at that time, it wasn't what we were looking for anymore.
Okay.
So we left to go do our own thing. We never actually wanted beef at that point, but, like, you know, Johnny he got pissed, which is understandable. So we had a little spat, but we got over it, you know. You know me, like Johnny himself has said, I go straight for the throat. I said some shit, I took it too far, but I'm also not above apologizing when I know I'm wrong, you know. I mean, I even apologized to fucking Edward Bailey, who was a massive cunt, but I shouldn't have called him what I called him, you know. Yeah.
Things get tense, don't they? In the situations, people say things, the memes come out. I mean, I think it's fair to say most people at this table have taken things one or steps too far.
Yeah.
So how many, you don't have to give us like an exact number, I mean, like, how deep are you guys at the moment? Are you rolling, like, can you feel 2 posses full? Are you 1 posse deep? I mean, how many members do you have online 24 hours a day?
We can easily
We could pull 2 in a good day.
Yeah.
I'd say 2.
Like on our best day, we filled 2.5 posses, and like we've got like 80-ish members right now, but it's hard to say because of the Facebook chats being archived. I'm not so sure like who's all active at the moment because of the whole move to Discord and shit. But, like, you know, I don't really care. I don't really care about most of our members, you know. And I know that sounds like a dick, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, if
you
you're
guys
not active, I mean, you're not on there doing nothing, or you're not even active in the chat like that. I mean, it's just like you just hanging around. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no hang arounds. There ain't no hang arounds. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Gotta pull your own weight sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, one of your sort of hang-around guys, you could say that kind of, he messaged me and he reached out to me, was a guy called Justin Fogerty. You all know him, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we know him.
Tell me a bit about
Strange.
him. Tell me a bit about him.
Mr. Strange.
Mr. Strange.
Well, yeah, like, oh yeah, he was with the Texas Rangers. And,
He was acquired in that split.
yeah. I think, wasn't it, didn't Deficient or Lauren, like, act like he was a spy and got him booted out of the Texas Rangers? Or was that someone else?
Yeah, so
Yeah, that
what
was-
happened there, we infiltrated the Texas Rangers Discord chat, or maybe it was PSN chat, but we
PSN.
were
Gross.
just in there to kind of keep some eyes on things, and so one of our members was in there, and eventually somebody caught on to the fact that he might be in there spying, which there were spies other than our posse in there. We later found out Alan Shires was in there, Bong Smoke was in there. I mean, there was lots of people.
Yeah.
So Shane was suspecting that we had a spy there, and so Deficient kind of turned the tables and was like, no, Mr. Strange is a spy, which he wasn't. But that's when that whole posse just started to kind of fall apart, because everybody was so, like, worried that somebody else was spying. They didn't know who to trust, and I mean, it pretty much disbanded at that point. But we took in a lot of their members. We told anybody in that posse that if they wanted to come to us, we'd take them in.
Right.
Actually, what happened to them is, I challenged their leader, Shane Sharpley, you know, the fat dude.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
challenged
I've heard of
him to a 1v1, and I told him, and I also told his members, like, I'll 1v1 him, and win or lose, doesn't matter, I'll leave the rest of you guys alone after that. And he kept coming with excuse after excuse to not 1v1 me. And
Bitch.
I'm not saying that that's the reason that his whole posse disbanded, but, like, you know, pretty much they lost faith in him, and, like, you know, it contributed to that. But it wasn't just that, you know, it was everything, like us coming at them constantly, them not being happy by the way that Shane leads them, which I can understand.
Always
And,
leave them high and dry.
So his own crew, fucking, what'd you call that shit again? They did that, mutiny, and they fucking voted to kick him, like, demote him in their own crew, and he didn't take that, so he left his own crew.
Yeah.
And this is this Justin guy, yeah.
Yeah.
This Justin guy was looking for a crew on Facebook, and I spoke to him briefly. Fuzzy Bear warned me and kind of filled me in on his background and who he was, and I instantly kind of cut ties with him. 2 days later, the guy sent me I didn't even know his tag at that point, and he sent me a clip of him killing me one time. It was a 17-second clip of him killing me. He was
I
like,
saw that.
"You're trash, bro. You're trash." And I was like, "You killed me once while I was AFK, and you're claiming that as your victory." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, bro." But okay, so
He
he
sent
was
it to
really-
me. I said, "Congratulations on your 1 kill. I'm so proud of you."
And he was like,
Because
oh,
1
yeah.
kill for him is a big deal.
Yeah,
Well,
really.
he's actually he's with the Los Homeless homosexuals right now.
Well, this is the story he gave me on you guys. He when he messaged me, I said, "Look, the Unforgiven have messaged me. They've told me all your shit, so, you know, I follow their word. If they're saying that you're Los Hombres or whatever, that's it." And he was all like, "Nah, what happened is," he said, "they sent me into Los Hombres' PSN chat to spy on them and shit like that." He's saying that he did all that shit for you, and then at the end you just cast him aside and said that you're with them, bro, and yada yada yada. That was his side of the story, you know.
Nah,
He
that's
was actually
bullshit.
kicked out of our posse twice. The first time
Yeah.
was because he continued to go after Shane Sharpley without making sure we had a posse ready. He just went in by himself. And we told him that's not how we roll. When we go in as a team.
Yeah, he went in
Likes
there
to start a
playing
lot of
his ass
shit.
beat, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right.
So we kicked him out the first time. That's when he joined the Los Hombres. And he sent me a message and was like, I miss you guys. And so I said, well, you know, I'll talk to the other leaders, and if, you know, everybody agrees upon it, we might take you back. I said, but it would be nice to have a set of eyes in there in case we need it.
Yeah.
I said, don't really suspect anything of them, but it would be nice. Well, sure enough, I mean, within a few hours, they were already trying to hit Lynn. They were trying to stage a jump on him. So he
Fucking
told
Colton
us.
Colby started, like, and I don't understand why the fuck what's his deal is. I never had an issue with him. I don't even know the dude. Like, I admit I had to giggle when I found out he started an internet relationship with that Ty something, you know, I don't know, that dumb hoe.
Tyrannosaurus
Yeah, the dumb hoe that was with you guys at
Oh
some
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ty, she's called.
So I just messaged him like, look, I heard you want to jump me. You better bring your best team, bitch. And he never replied to that.
Well,
And then I also told Nelbam the same shit, and he said, I'll always bring my A game, but granted, the bar isn't very high for that dude, you know.
I mean,
they'll come in
look-
and slinging explosives from the get every time.
yeah, I mean, everyone seems to be
Yeah,
about
no.
that, you know. We do it too, because if we don't do it, they do it. So we just go in with E-rounds now and play them at their own game, you know. It'd be nice to get a crew that wants to PvP with express rounds, but let's be honest about it, it doesn't happen. Everyone wants to get the E-rounds going, especially when you're enemies on a
We
big
don't
level
do it.
with some of these people, you know.
We don't do it, man.
So this Justin guy's are just a bit of a nobody then, by the sound of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, one
Well,
thing.
the second time we removed him, it was because we told him once they found out that he gave us a heads up that they were coming to jump, they kicked him out, and we told him, you know, he was welcome back, he was one of us, but we said, you got to delete them off your friends list, because obviously we didn't really trust him. And he lied to three of us leaders, saying that he deleted them when he didn't. And sure enough, he ended up jumping us with them.
Right. So he's a bit of a posse hopper then, by the sound of it. And you know,
big posse war for sure.
that's the thing. When new members come from other gangs, I don't think it's asking too much to say, look, appear offline or delete them off your friends list. Because let's be honest about it, it's an open doorway to the Unforgiven. You don't know shit about this guy. You don't know his intentions.
Absolutely.
You know, why should you guys be grinding missions and, you know, whatever you're doing for the posse at that stage, and then he's loading in fucking enemies of the crew, you know? No one needs that shit. We have the same thing over at HHR, and we have to monitor it very carefully. If members keep doing shit that puts us at risk, you know, they're gone. It's like, see ya. And it sounds like that's the same thing with this Justin
Even
guy.
from the get-go, we had issues with him with glitching, didn't we? Because we told him we're not glitchers, and you know, we don't have, you know, we're not going to tell people what to do, you know, if you want to do that. And he quietly messaged just about every one of our members, you know, hey, you want to glitch? Hey, you want to glitch? It's like, you know, come on.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, you want to get your account banned? Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we allow people to glitch if that's what they want to do. We just don't. We don't approve. We don't approve of it being promoted within. Like you can. We didn't give him shit for privately messaging people, because you can do that if you want, but we just don't want it promoted in the group chats.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was trying too hard, you know.
Right, yeah. I mean, if someone joins in the crew instantly, they've got all these enemies, and they're also messaging all these members on the side. For me, that's just a red flag. It's like, you come in first, you earn your stripes, and then you gain a relationship with members, you know, and that sort of thing. Okay, well, enough of a try-hard Justin with his 17-second clip. Okay, so one thing that I've always respected about you guys, without kissing your ass because you're all here, is that you're a proper gang. You know, you're just like HHR in the respect that you have your own people, you have your own loyal members. You don't call for you know, there's a lot of gangs out there like BWG, Los Hombres, Rabbits, you know, Devil's Cavalry, etc., etc. They kind of help each other all the time, or they kind of jump between each person's chat. Well, you guys, you seem to have your shit tight knit, you know, your members, your crew, and I personally look at you guys from afar as a proper legit gang. That's why I'm always pro the Unforgiven, you know. So carry on doing that shit, because it's impressive, you know. It's impressive to have an out and out gang. I don't respect people like the regulators that they have 3 people and they come in to help another crew, you know. It's just, you guys are legit the Unforgiven gang, and everything you do is about pushing your brand and your name. So that's some real good shit.
We're a family too.
Yeah. And we fuck with each other, you know,
Most
outside the
definitely.
game, you know what I'm
Talk every day.
Texas and all this
Who
shit.
doesn't?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've noticed in my time knowing Dutch that Mississippi, Defcon Dan, MPAC, you've been with the gang for a long time, right?
I started it with him.
Yeah, man. MPEC's been there since day one.
Yeah. So
Mississippi's been there pretty early on as well, but she had some things, to take care of, which made her, like, not as active for a while. But she's been there, like.
I've been there since the beginning of the year, yeah.
Yeah, from everyone here besides me and Pac, she's been here the longest.
Shit, well, that's good shit. At the end of you're obviously doing something right anyway. That's but moving on to, I mean, who is actively the enemy of the Unforgiven gang? I mean, roll them out for me. Shout out the list. Who's actively an enemy gang of the Unforgiven?
I'm not gonna consider Shires because they're not really a gang. They're like a couple of members.
A vengeful fang.
The Los Hombres apparently, all of a sudden they had a problem with me, which
and that's a shame
fine.
Because some of them I liked.
Well, yeah, exactly. I had respect for Scott until he fucking acted as if I blocked him. Like, out of all people, Scott knows. He knows that I get post blocked and accounts removed. Like, more than fucking Shires lies about shit, which is a lot. And then for him to fucking go and claim that I blocked him after he challenged me to 7 versus 7, even though I told him we can do it right now, and he was like, nah, what about next week, and what about this and that? So now, like, basically all my respect for that little fisherman is gone. He can suck my dick.
So how are you guys? I mean, we know that Los Hombres, we know that Alan / Vengeful Fang, but how would you guys situate in terms of these new crews that have all kind of spawned from BWG? Devil's Cavalry, this wolf pack motherfuckers that are hilarious. How do you guys situate with them? Have you battled them or what?
We haven't encountered the wolf pack yet. No. Devil's Cavalry, they've attacked a couple of our members a couple of times, but they were by themselves and running a posse attack, so I guess they just get off on griefing one person 4 or 5 to 1, classic Blackwater grief, I guess.
With explosives.
So, like, if you're looking at this, y'all can suck my dick too and come and get it. But yeah, we've encountered the griefer gods, smacked the shit out of them, so that's about that. Like, everyone here knows Kosio sucks ass, and whoever follows him sucks ass.
Terrible. He does it somewhere with the post office.
Yeah, he does. Or he runs around as slippery with the rope.
Yep.
Yeah.
He runs around with slippery with that rope. Bless him. Okay, because all those crews, I mean, they've all kind of spawned from the original BWG that we used to all fight. You got Devils, you got some players like Duck Hunt and someone that have went over not Scarlet, what's her name, Renee or Jacqueline Renee. They've all went over to Devil's Cavalry, and then like Milner has gone over to Dead Rabbits. And then you've got Outlaw STG, which is Scott Caddy. He's kind of done the Griefer Gods that you mentioned. And then you've got the Wolf Pack, which is like Renzo, Otis. But from what I can see is all of these gangs, they struggle to get a posse of 7 when I've battled them, Los Hombres really are the only ones that don't struggle. But at the same time, Los Hombres aren't a real gang. They're mercenaries. No. They have an open
like
group chat.
Yeah.
So, anyone can open, they're just a group chat of people. That's why so many of their screenshots out of their chat get leaked, because they allow people to come into their group chat, screenshot it, and then leave, But how do you guys situate with Dead Rabbits?
Well, to be honest, I never had a problem with them. Like, obviously when Shires was there we had a problem, but I didn't have a problem with them. I had a problem with Shires. And after they left, I actually told them, the best move you guys ever made was to get rid of him. And after that, one time that Jasper Lee tried to screw up our recruiting by calling me a racist prick and shit, which, fine, I guess. Like, I said some shit that I shouldn't have said. I apologize for that shit, and now Brandon and shit are claiming that I only apologized to Edward because I was afraid of getting roasted. Because Like, come on, Brand doesn't roast that good. I hadn't even seen any of his memes yet. Like, when I apologized to Edward. Like, to be honest, the reason I apologized to Edward is because I actually got some good insight from the dead rabbits. And what happened is with the dead rabbits is they either spawn into our session by coincidence, or they had a spy or something, or a
Oh, they
mutual
spawned
friend.
on me.
They spawn on you. All right.
Yeah,
That wasn't
Kanye
there.
told me.
Okay. How did they spawn on you? By a community?
That RP community that I used to jump Shiki.
Ah, all right.
And kill
yeah,
Pug
so-
too. If you...
Well, there you have it. They jumped us. I wasn't there from the start, and I got on much later than I was planning on because I was out with a friend. I was getting drunk. Like by the time I got on, I was already fucking bottling, you know. So I don't even remember much. Most of what I remember is because I was either very annoyed or that's what I heard from the rest of the group. But anyway, I spawned in at the middle of that fight, and I was already sucking ass. And eventually, I was like, you know, because we were in game chat or we were in party chat and went into game chat. I'm not even sure about it anymore, but we ended up speaking to them. And I was like, you know, all right, let's meet up in the middle and let's talk about what's going on. Because they were pissed at me for what I said to Edward, which I understand. Because they're friends with the griefers, you know, they've been sucking each other's dicks for a long time. And so I was trying to explain to her what happened and why I said what I said, and that you know that I shouldn't have said it or whatever. I don't remember exactly how I worded it. And what happened was they had this bitch called Spooky Ho, who kept blowing us up with dynamite arrows every time we got in the middle and like when I was reaching my point, you know. And then eventually
Just obnoxious.
eventually it just became a fight again. At some point, Subliminal spawned in, like at the end of the fight when a lot of people were gone, low on supplies and shit, and she spawned in, chugging potent miracle tonics by the second. And like, you know, at the end of the fight, they were kicking our ass. That's true, but like
Well, we
everyone
thought the
knows.
fight was over. Half of us left.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't post the whole fight, you know. They didn't post their asses getting kicked, so it's fine, whatever. Like, we've tried to jump them after that, but they're the kind of hoes that talk a lot of shit but don't appear online. Because, like, I don't have solid evidence of it right now, but at the same time, I don't care about who believes me and who doesn't believe me, because I've seen it with my eyes, so I know that it's true. We actually spawned into Jasper Lee's session on coincidence once, and at that same moment, I went to check the warfare community to see if she was playing up in popping up in a now playing list, and she wasn't. So you know, it's easy to talk a big game if you're never appearing online, you know.
Yeah.
So at that point, we were like, you know, fuck it, then it's done, you know.
I mean, you guys seem to always be online, but I've also noticed that you don't keep enemies on your friends list, so you're able to appear online for this reason, where I kind of take like a different stance on it. I add everybody, but I appear offline, so when I want to fight, the door's open. When I don't want to fight, the door's closed. You know, that seems to be the way. I mean, Alan Shires I've had on friends now like 6 months. He's never online. He's never
I know,
online.
I've had him on mine too, just waiting for him.
I'm just
He
waiting
forgot
for
how
him.
to change it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm part of the war
Or maybe his
community.
fingers can't reach.
Yeah.
With the tiny little fingers of him.
I think the moment he learned his lesson was about 3 months ago when he just left Dead Rabbits and he appeared online. We jumped him, we burned him, you know, we spawn trapped his ass, we killed him again and again, and ever since then he's never appeared online. And I think it's for that reason that people do it, you know. Or they'll go in the war community and they'll appear online when they're rolling deep, you know, they've got a couple of posses with them and shit. So I get that, but I've always seen Unforgiven on my friends list, online, you know.
Like, I have no issue with adding enemies, but the only problem is, like, if I add an enemy, I expect us to both appear online and be fucking man about it. Because I don't like appearing. If I appear offline, it's because I don't want to play with people on my friends list. You know, I wanna have some quiet time. I don't appear offline because I'm hiding from enemies, you know. And that's my problem. Every time I add an enemy, they're only appearing offline, and you know that's not how it works. You know, if you tell me, oh, here's my PSN, add me, don't go appearing offline. Don't be hiding from me, you know.
I mean, for real. And how hard is it to, you know, add the shit, add it up? You know what I'm saying? You send this shit, or they send the shit, and when y'all get online, y'all on it at the same time. Bam, add that shit, y'all meet up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's same. It's just as fast either way. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? But I do shit for the simple fact, you know, like he said, I want to fuck around sometimes. Don't be bothered. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get jumped. Because, hell, when we first left HHR, I couldn't do shit on the game without being offline. Because, hell, I get jumped. Every time I got on that motherfucker, I was like, God damn. So, you know, it was like, fuck it.
I found, too, that for as much hate as we get and as much enemies as we seem to have, nobody really seems to come after us that often.
No, not no more. No.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it as well. You know, we've went onto the war community. We've appeared online. We're all there. We're like, oh, come on, we're gonna have some fun tonight, and no one's come. You know, boring as fuck. We're just sitting there, just twiddling our thumbs.
Oh, sitting there for a fucking hour and nobody shows up because nobody has no balls.
Yeah, nobody shows up, and then they'll be like, yeah, you're always offline. It's like, we was online 3 hours waiting for somebody to come, but I personally have a lot of enemies on my friends list. I mean, fucking a lot, you know. Okay.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get something to drink and take a piss. Give me like 2 minutes.
Okay. Maybe maybe why he does that, you can broach this first topic until Lenz gets back. I mean, let's talk about Bran. Let's talk about Brandad. I mean, he was part of the Unforgiven
level
for
50
a while.
of Red Dead.
I tell you what Bran's doing right now. I wish I could do a screenshot. Brandad right now as we speak, he's playing GTA Online. Yeah, GTA Online. That's what Brandad's doing. Brandad, he's a bit of a joker, right? I mean, I met him along with Lenz back in the old Alliance chat when I was with BSV, but he never really seemed that he was about the Unforgiven. He never really seemed that he was about defeating BWG in the Dead Rabbits Alliance. He was always kind of out for his own popularity, his own page.
Oh yeah, he's no attention whore.
And it's about the memes and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what he loves to do.
Exactly.
He's about nothing.
He's not online. He's not. I mean, I've had with Crow here. I've had various battles with the Unforgiven. He's never ever been there, like ever, you know. And you guys kicked him out of the Unforgiven. So talk about Brandad. I mean, why did he get kicked out of the Unforgiven? What's your relationship with him now? Because it seems like he hates the fuck out of you. And just tell us your overall opinion on Brandad.
Well, the thing about Brad is I started smelling something a little fishy with him long before I was a leader. When I started playing Red Dead Online, I, of course, added all of the leaders in Unforgiven, and he was one at the time, and I noticed that we were like the same level, like high 30s, something like that. And I just started to notice that, like, he never seemed to be online or playing. I was, you know, surpassing him by miles as far as ranking up, and I don't know, I always thought it was straight. I always thought it was strange that he didn't seem to be very active for as much as he talks in Assault Pages. And Lynn, you can probably tell him a little bit more about why Bran was kicked.
Well, basically, Bran was kicked because we heard Johnny told us that he was talking shit about us, and like, till this day, I still haven't seen proof, but I don't care. Even if Johnny was lying, what I don't think, we're still glad that he's gone, because he's a weak link, you know? And basically, like, even before that shit, I was already not happy about him kissing Blackwater Goose for ass, kissing Vengeance Fang ass.
He stayed on him, man. Stayed on his ass.
Because that's what he was doing, right? Because I mean, like you say, I mean, I would see it too. I was in Alliance chat with Lenz and a various amount of other people, Scott Larks, and like everyone that was fighting the BWG/Rabbit Coalition was in that chat. And Bran was one of them, but he never came on. He was always kissing their ass on all of the Facebook groups and Salt. You know, I always felt that he was kind of just using the Unforgiven for his own popularity, and as soon as that all ended, he went straight over to the Vengeful Fang, and he's kind of using them for the same thing. But this guy doesn't play the game,
and they're also using him. Like it's a mutual using relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. He likes the attention. He likes that they are hated, so that gives him more attention. You know, he's been evading a 1v1 with at least 3 of us for months.
And me. I can legitimately say he won't have a 1v1 with anyone. He just won't do it.
No
Absolutely
way.
not.
You know, I'll message him when he's online, and I'll be like, look, I'm online right now, come to the session, I'll wait here. And he's like, bro, I'm on GTA, I'm not logging out for your fucking ass, bro. And it's like, okay. Then the next day he'll post that I've avoided him, and it's frustrating as fuck, because I keep trying to get this going with him, and then he keeps making excuses, but then he keeps going on Salt and saying that it's me, and I'm just like, just come, bro. I know you're like level 70, I know I'll destroy you, just bring it. But he
70 is being generous, I'm sure.
I was rounding it up. I was trying to be, because I didn't know the exact number. but either way, I know he hasn't got all of his cards maxed. You know, I know it will be an easy win for me. But I don't pressure him too much. But I wish you'd just stop lying about it and pretending that, you know, just say I don't do 1v1s, bro, and that'll be it. I'll leave you alone. But
I don't think anybody takes him seriously. I mean, some people may laugh at his memes, but I don't think anybody takes him seriously.
If they do, they're just as much as a joke.
I mean, he's a perfect fit for the Vengeful Fang when it comes to lying and twisting the truth, you know?
And that being
the
game.
Yeah, I mean, those Vengeful Fang, I mean, from where I'm sitting in the battles that me and Crow and HHR have had with them, is they're really weak. You know, they have a couple of players. They always have to leave. I mean, I don't know why Alan gets this good impression of himself, because he has literally left every single fight we've ever had with him. Like, every time he's left.
Don't get it twisted. Alan Shires doesn't have a good impression of himself. He hates himself. He looks into the mirror, standing on a little footstool every day, because otherwise he doesn't reach the mirror, convincing himself, you know, with a finger pointing at himself, I am valuable. My life matters, but it really doesn't. His son doesn't love him. His baby mama doesn't love him. His own crew admits that he's a dick. You know, no one actually loves that guy. Like, you know, he's a midget.
He's the perfect epitome of the Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Let's talk about Alan Shires, because we've inadvertently, because I mentioned his name, we stepped on. So Alan seems to be a real hater of the Unforgiven, especially our friend here, Dutch. He really hates your ass. And yeah, go into the relationship of you and Alan. Tell us all. We're all listening.
Well, back when we just started the Unforgiven, I don't even remember how, but we got into an alliance with Boris, known as the Black Lung right now, and Shires, so the Dead Rabbits. But basically, we never really showed up because, you know, I'm from the Netherlands. I'm usually online till pretty late, but their fights took place even later, so it usually just didn't work out for me. And the one time I did show up, it was a fuck fest. You know, we were shooting each other more than we were actually shooting, and we weren't even going after the Renegade. And like, I don't know about most people, but if I'm agreeing to help someone, I want to fuck up who I want to fuck up. I'm not there to fight their random enemies, you know. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I don't do alliances anymore, because, you know, for one, I don't need them. Like, we don't need them, but for seconds, I'm not there to fight their random enemy. But yeah, so basically, we never really showed up to those fights, and at one point, I was done, you know, with that shit. Like, I made my peace with Johnny. I just wanted to go after the Blackwater group because I didn't like their fucking attitude, you know, and the fact that they kept trying to plant spies in our gang. Oh, damn, it's that time of the night?
My bad.
Anyone got dollar bills?
Okay, well, yeah, I'm about to say. I got a few extra.
Your booty in my face, but I guess yours will do, Adam.
Let me get a couple more drinks. Hold on.
No, I mean, Alan Shires he talks bigger game than he actually is. I mean, I've never
Just
met
like his
somebody.
height.
He just talks so much shit. I mean, I read his comments the other day on Blackwater Times, and he was like, "I'm that sort of motherfucker. I will turn up at your doorstep and I'll do this." It's like, do you know what, bro? You've got pictures of yourself holding a lightsaber on Facebook. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to do anything.
I mean,
you know,
he
it's
could
just...
turn up to your doorstep, but you wouldn't even see him. You would have to look all the way down and actually notice the little fucking hobbit.
They don't have peepholes low enough.
What I find
Need
funny
a
about Alan
child-sized
is
peephole.
the first time I ever met him, he was like, "I'm that type of guy. I'm that guy that's going to take it harder, Rivers. I'm that guy that's going to take it so far that you're going to cry." And it's like, do you know what? In the end, Alan, it's only been you that's cried, bro. It's only been actually you that's cried. You know, to see his own gang kick him out because of his personality disorder, and then watch him scrabble around the community like this Dark Lord. It's very funny to me, to be honest with you. And the fact that
like,
Bran is kind
So
of like
well
shouldered. The fact that Bran is shouldered up with him, and now they're this little trolling network with no posse. I find it very hilarious. I don't respect them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
He
see them as a threat. You know,
he does
it's...
take things far and hard, but just not on the way that he thinks he does. He only takes things far and deep in the bedroom, like we all know by now. He has made a big secret out of it, you know.
His Odinism and all that. I love him. He sent me some messages a few days ago. No, not a few days ago, about a week ago, and he said that you know, when the Dead Rabbit's character introduced me, his character was deleted. Nobody knows how his character was deleted.
What the hell is happening?
Breaking up for me a little bit.
Rivers, you're having some technical difficulty. You're breaking up.
No, hold on. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. So everyone knows this Dead Rabbits member introduced me. His character was deleted, and Alan keeps on trying to pin it on me and pin it on HHR and say that we did it, and of course we didn't. And he sent me all types of messages saying that this guy's a sheriff and they're going to use international law against me. I'll tell you what, actually, for the sake of the interview, I'm gonna play. I know this is about Unforgiven, but I'm gonna play the clip of what I responded back to Alan Shires once he sent me all these threats saying how he's going to get the US police involved and the FBI and all this type of shit.
While he's looking that up, if Alan is listening, I want that bow 1v1 with you. I always see him with the bow, but he don't know. The crow's got the bow. He always calls me no thumbs. Let me put him to work.
I mean, Shires might have thumbs.
Call out, little bitch.
Shires might have some thumbs, but they're so far up his ass that he can't even use them to fucking hold his control.
Oh yeah, and his head's right there behind it.
That's why his hair looks
Okay,
so
so Alan Shires has sent me a load of messages saying how he's going to get international law on me, you know, yada yada yada. You can imagine all the magic he talks. This is one of the messages I sent back to him. He refused to send me a voice message. He was like, "I'm not listening to your voice messages, Matt," or whatever. But this is one of the messages I sent him back. Right, let me get it up. Oh god, it's acting. It's doing that shit on messengers, you know, when the voice is all zoned out. It's doing all that shit. Hold on.
It's because your phone's getting too close to that face cam. It cuts off the screen.
Right. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, Shires, you're one funny motherfucker, bro. You're one of my favourite enemies. You're so funny. You and fucking steal your loot and brand. You're like the fucking Team Rocket or some shit. You crack me up, man. Just do it, bro. It'll be funny. I ain't do shit to his character. Like I said, if I could do it, I would have done it to you, probably. Oh, bro, have a good day.
so that's my message back to Alan, you know. He's a funny guy. I appreciate people like Alan, because if he wasn't around, I would have no one to laugh at. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you got.
Something I love about this game is that the online world really kind of emotes the true nature of like the story in this game. and the gangs and your alliances and your enemies, and I think we're bringing justice, even though Rockstar really hasn't given us the content we wanted.
Indeed. I mean, I think Willie Crow, I think you had a question that you wanted to direct towards the Unforgiven, bro, so you go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard many aspects of this story, and I wanted to get y'all's perspective on it and what happened on your side. Back when I was a lower level, I was with Pedro. I joined y'all, and we were kicked. I was behind the scenes. I didn't know nothing. I just wanted to get a run by of if it's like all the other stories I've heard about Pedro.
Well, basically, Pedro knew that we were cool with HHR. Like, we don't really do alliances, but there's one crew that we're cool with. You know, that like, you know, we don't back each other up, but we fuck up the same people. You know, so that's why we spawn into each other's sessions to fuck up the same people. And Pedro was trying to screw that up. He knew about that shit, and he was like, yo, here's HHR attacking me, and this and that. And then all of a sudden, he got pissed and left. And, you know, Pedro being Pedro, I was like, fuck it. Everyone that's involved with Pedro is going out the door, too. So it never was anything personal. But, you know, if Pedro brings in people and he leaves or gets kicked, naturally, anyone that came with him is getting booted as well.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that,
Pedro
but we get...
Pedro is the fucking little finger of Game of Thrones, only he fails, you know? And then Littlefinger failed as well because he died, but, you know, he actually accomplished shit. Pedro never accomplished shit.
Oh yeah, he just jammed. He's the first posse whore I ever met and regrettably followed.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably, you know, like, you know, you regret it, you know, that, and those are some good words, because that's probably the only reason that you had a problem with people in the first place, because you were a friend of Pedro's.
Guilty by association.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly that. I mean, I remember when... Yeah. I mean, I remember when we was in the Alliance chat fighting BWG when it was in its prime, and Lenz was there, and he said to me that Pedro and a couple of his guys had joined a couple of the X-Roads Mafia, like Beltran and Jazz Turtle, Zinese, and he asked me to be cool with them. He said, be cool with them, they've joined Unforgiven. I said, okay, I'll be cool with them for the sake of the Alliance, because the bigger picture was we were trying to take down BWG, right? So I was cool with them, but Pedro has always used other gangs to his advantage. He's used Moroccan Mafia, he's used BWG, he entered HHR's recruitment process for about 2 weeks, made an excuse, left, instantly formed the Gambits. He kind of tries to push the boundaries of how far he can take this until someone pushes the boundaries upon him further, and he kind of wimps out, you know, and he runs for the hills. And a perfect example was when he messaged that Ray Wilson, Clefairy, who is now a Los Hombres member, you know, threatening her in real life and saying, I know where you live and you're fit and all these types of things. Then they messaged his wife, and then his wife kicked him out, and then he was all butthurt about it. But
I never knew that he got kicked out of his own house.
Yeah, he did. That's why he left Salt and all that. And then a week later, he was back with a vengeance, and he was, you know, and he tried to form another posse with Itzberry, who's now a BWG Wolfpack member, and all of them lot, and they've left him too. And he, you know, he's just a failure at doing posses, in my opinion. He just needs to, give up. You know, he needs to give up. But so what's the history with you and these Texas Rangers then? Because I've only come across Texas Rangers once in a lobby. They were there. Dutch had mentioned them to me before, so I had a little feud with them, 3 versus 1. But other than that, I don't know this Shane guy. But I mean, are they like your main enemies at the moment in the Unforgiven?
Oh, not at all. Because like we have screenshots. Before he disbanded, like the first group disbanded, we have screenshots of him telling everyone to block me, and that anyone that adds me back would get deleted. And then we have screenshots of him in his new gang called the Texas Rangers. We have screenshots of them in caps lock, Shane, it's the motherfucking Unforgiven. They're here. Yada yada yada. And he's like,
and he never comes to their rescue. He's
Nope.
terrified of us. Terrified.
His response
told them to
was,
leave
told
and
you all
yelled
to
at them
leave.
for not
Yep.
leaving.
Yep.
And it all started because he was
Crazy.
talking shit on
And then-
Facebook. He started
And then the
trying
next
to be a
day he claimed the
badass.
win. Yeah, that's how it started. It wasn't one of the few Facebook communities that I haven't been banned in. He was talking shit or saying something about griefers or whatever, and I was just laughing at his post. And then someone else came in asking about griefers, and I was explaining what griefers were, in my opinion. And then he started talking some shit, and I started talking some shit, and like, I'm better at talking shit, so I got him riled up. And eventually he added me, like, I added him. He added me back and immediately deleted me again. And that's how the whole spy thing started. Like, you know, we got people into his group and we fucked
I
him
got
up.
in that bitch first. I was in that motherfucker early.
Yeah. We actually had 3 or 4 people in there at the same time.
I mean, to be honest with you,
Yeah,
from my
okay.
perspective, and maybe I'm delusional, but I see like a tectonic shift in the place of Red Dead Redemption Online. I mean, once upon a time it was always BWG, Dead Rabbits and these other crews, and they were raining hellfire upon us. I mean, you know, give BWG, the original ones, their props. It was hard to beat them, you know. We had to form an alliance of gangs in order to do it. But you look at the terrain today, and really you see the Unforgiven just growing and getting stronger and stronger, and a proper gang. Hellhound Renegades is exactly the same type of thing, and it's really good, you know. It's very pleasing to me personally as a person to see all these griefers just literally been slapped down one at a time, and all these gangs have come out of it, you know, the Unforgiven and Hellhound Renegades, and now really, let's be honest about it, I mean, they're eating off our table now, you know.
Yeah.
What's this Van Horn trading post stuff anyway? Who's the editor for that? Who is this table's the editor for that?
Mr. Nova.
Yeah, that's me.
So that's
it's nowhere near as serious, or you know, it's not trying to compete with yours or any of the other ones. It's really just kind of our own thing that's not like our group page that only we can see. You know, it's just a way to kind of creatively let other people that aren't members of our gang kind of see some things or see our opinion, and maybe get a little insight into what we're doing. Or
no, that's good shit. I mean that's what you got to do. That's exactly what we did at HHR, and you know, I've liked your page and so on, and that's what you got to do, man. It's all about, you know, your gang and your outlet, you know. So good shit on that anyway. I hope you guys do well with that shit and so on. Okay, I mean, another thing to touch on, Lens, directed at you, is a lot of people in the community, without getting too personal, have mentioned your background with your time in prison, yeah? And
Yeah.
they've cast a lot of aspersions about this. So, I mean, this is your chance to say what you want to say. So, you know, go for it.
Well, like, what do you want to know? Do you want to know, like, what led up to it, like what I did, or?
I want to know because they've said a lot of stuff, and I want to know what your opinion is on that stuff and what the truth is.
Well, like, pretty much what I've heard on Facebook is like the standard jokes, like, you're gonna go back to prison, you're gonna get raped, this and that, like, you know, even, like, obviously, I'm not from America, I live in the Netherlands, people don't get raped in prison over here. I know in America they do sometimes, but even there, people don't get raped as much as, like, the media would like you to believe. Like, you know, it's fucking 2019, it doesn't happen that much anymore.
Don't drop the soap, right?
Yeah, like I had a fucking shower on my show, you know, like, Dutch prisons are, like, they're pretty, like, you have a lot of shit, you know, compared to American prisons. Like, I had a fucking television in my cell, I had a shower. Granted, not most prisons in the Netherlands don't have a shower in your cell, you know, but you don't get raped in prison in the Netherlands.
Did you say you had a PS1?
Yeah, I had a PS1.
I mean, come on, yeah, sign me up.
What more could you want?
Right.
We're going to Dutch prison, baby.
Welcome to Europe. Welcome to Europe.
I actually traded my PS1 and something else, and then borrowed a GameCube from someone else, and then we were able to fight Def Jam.
Sleepover.
Fight for New York. Yeah, that shit was awesome, man. I'm not saying prison was awesome. It wasn't that bad. Like, for the most part, I don't really regret my actions. I'll give you like a short story on what happened why I went to prison. Basically, I had an ex-girlfriend that was a psychopath. She was like the female version of Alan Shires, only not as ugly. And basically, I ended things. She sent some dude to come after me to rob me, but I was already like not cool with the dude, but we were friendly. He tattooed me once, and we had contact. And he was like, let's go and hang out, this and that. And I found it a little suspicious, And so he told me what it was about. He heard about me fighting with her and shit. And he told me he just wanted to talk. Naturally, I was already suspicious, but I was like, fuck it, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And if he wants to do some shit, we'll see that when it gets to the point. So I went there, met up with him, and he's a rapper. And he showed me some behind the scenes footage of him walking around with guns and shit. So at that moment I was like, is this dude trying to intimidate me, or is he just like showing off his new shit? I was like, nevertheless, doesn't really matter. And then eventually he asked me like what the deal was between me and her. So I told him what happened. He said he heard another story. Eventually he tried to rob me, he tried to blackmail me, whatever. And I tried to talk to him. And because he showed me that shit of him walking around with guns and shit, I was like, I could punch this motherfucker, but what if he shoots me? So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try and talk to him first. He wouldn't listen, so eventually I just stabbed him. And it's not something I'm proud of, I'm not ashamed of it either, because if you're gonna act like you're carrying guns, you're gonna treat it as if you're an actual gangster or whatever, or as if you're actually dangerous. Flash forward to the trial and shit, we were there crying about how much this shit affected him, and basically being a little bitch. So he turned out to not be as much of a gangster as he would like the world to believe.
Right, okay.
But so I did my time. I got 15 months, served my time, and I've never been in trouble again. I've never been in trouble before I went to prison. It was a one-time thing,
Yeah.
Like I stood there after it happened, and I waited for the cops to arrive. I turned myself in, But the thing that I'm mostly like I feel guilty about is the way it affects my mom and my grandma. Like it hurt them a lot, obviously, and it's the first time that I've ever seen my grandmother cry. When she came to visit me. So I'm sorry for it to them, but for myself, I grew up there because I was only 18 at the time, and like even though it's not as bad as it is over in America, because in America after 18 you go to a maximum security prison, or I don't know what the exact terms over there are, but if you go to a bad prison over there, you get raped. I went to a pretty bad prison in Holland, save for the fact that we had a fucking shower in our cell, but other than that, I was there with the crazies. I had fucking people that were doing life sentences, serial killers and all that shit. It was mixed between each other. And but actually, I know it wasn't that bad for me. Like I got out of prison and I was much more serious than I was before I went in. I was dedicated to school after that. I was I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I'm a social worker. That's what I studied for, and like I'm trying to.
You're a social worker. Fucking hell! You above all. Yeah. You are a social worker.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus fucking H Christ! I've heard it all now.
I'm trying to tell motherfuckers, man. Y'all don't talk to this motherfucker like we do, man.
Jesus
a lot of people
Christ,
don't
bro.
know, I don't pick fights, I only retaliate. I've never picked a fight with anyone when it comes to fucking Red Dead Redemption or besides Red Dead Redemption. Anytime that we get into a fight with someone, they're starting shit with us, and I'm just responding. And I might take things too far, but I never start that shit.
I know. I mean, you're quite a hated figure now in the community, Dutch. Not everybody understands you like I do, because same with Johnny, because you know, they don't realise how much people trolled us with memes and shit like that before we started doing it back to them. So I think people come into the community on a fresh note, they don't get it. They instantly see the post and they think, whoa, this guy's toxic, yada yada yada. But you're one of the original salt gods. Your memes are funny as fuck, and so on. I mean, we've had a couple of messages here from Steal Your Loot. He's put some shit here about tell Dutch Quee looking little kids and tell Draco something. He's also said, okay, cool. This is Steal Your Loot, yeah. He's a Vengeful Fang member for people that don't know. He's also commented here, okay, cool. Now justify threatening Slug's kids. Oh wait, you can't. He's a social worker because he wants to get closer to little kids. That's Still Your Loot's comments. I mean, anything you want to say to that, Unforgiven or Dutch?
Well, first of all, I don't work with little kids. I work with adults. Second of all, I never really, like, you know, obviously I said I would kidnap his kid, you know, but that was just to fucking lure him out, you know, to get him riled up. But, like, obviously, I live halfway across the world. Like, how the fuck would I ever kidnap his kid, you know? No one here actually takes that shit serious, except for people who want an excuse to be mad at me. Like, you know,
Oh yeah.
even if I was in the position to kidnap his kid, how the fuck would I get that done? Like, his kid's a fat little fucker, man. That shit's not gonna work.
But the thing is with Alan though is I don't know if people in his gang know this, and I don't give a fuck if you agree or don't, but the thing that people don't realise is that Alan Shires is pretty much the first person to do stuff with kids. He's the person that he's one of the founding people that attacked people's families and their kids on social media, and as soon as people did it to him because his damn ass left his Facebook profile open, then he bitched and moaned, and he's literally like threatening prosecution and all these things, and it's like, Alan, you reap what you sow, bro. You did that shit first. He did it personally to my child, so I know. He says that it's justified because, look, I'll tell you what happened here. Me and Alan were arguing. He was bigging up Rhodes Mafia, and I said to him something like, I bet your mum was a crack whore or some shit like that because of his perm and his multicoloured hair. It was something like that. I did insult his family. I never posted pictures. I just said, you look like you come from a crack whore or some shit like that. And then next thing I know, he was literally posting pictures of my like 4-year-old son saying this and that and this and that. And then when people do it to him, he straight up cries about it, and the worst thing about it is he doesn't just only cry about it, he actually says that he's going to do things against us. He's going to bring us down as these horrible trolls on Facebook, and it's like, motherfucker, you did all that shit first. You just cannot take it. You cannot take it.
You can just say out, but you can't take it.
Exactly.
I remember my first run-in with Alan. All I was doing was spamming gifts on some dumbass post. And he went ahead and took my profile picture, which had my kids and my woman in it, and went to town. And then he gets butthurt about it when it gets done to him.
He's a straight up piece of shit.
He's a little hobbit angry motherfucker.
He's a straight up piece of shit, and Still Your Loot, if you're listening, you're more of a mug for following him. And I'll tell you what as well, Philip, 1v1 anytime, bro. Anytime. I've got YouTube clip after YouTube clip of us owning you, you know, like multiple kills. It's like anytime, Philip, anytime I will steal your loot. It's just like, I don't know.
He doesn't do 1v1s without Slippery, man. He's already owned up to it.
That's okay, we'll use paint it black. You know, steal your loot, don't act all big on Messenger, bro, okay? Honestly. The clips are there, bro. You will get owned, okay? Shut up. Just stop messaging. Shut up. Okay. So, Alan Shires, very funny guy. What do you guys think of Brian and the Los Hombres? I mean, Brian was a general in the BWG. He fell out with Big Ched over paranoia. He left. He kind of was cool with HHR for a little while. He wanted to make all type of pacts with us, but we wouldn't do it with him. You know, we wouldn't allow it because of who he was. And now he's got this whole Los Hombres chat. We've got the regulators in. For a brief time, they had Red Dead Syndicate in there. What do you guys make of all that and so on?
Well, actually, before we get into that, I just want to pitch in on Shires for one more bit, because I actually forgot to tell you the exact story on how our beef with him begun.
Yeah.
So I was in an alliance with him and Boris, and eventually I got tired of that because it wasn't leading up to anything, and I made peace with Johnny, and I wanted to go after Blackwater Griefers. So I put that in that chat, like, you know, hey, I want to go after Blackwater Griefers. I'm trying to involve Renegade and whatnot, and Shires immediately got pissed. He was like, yeah, I never trusted you, this and that, blah, 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 blah. He left the chat and immediately sent a screenshot to Blackwater Griefers about me wanting to go after him. So I just called him out on that same post of Blackwater Times about him being a little tranny fucker. And that's pretty much how it begun. He says I got pissed because he didn't want to do an alliance. That's not it. I don't care about that. If you don't want to fight, cool. But the fact that he immediately goes and runs to them and rats me out, you know, that just made me realize that he was a little punk ass bitch. And I don't get it twisted. I don't hate anyone that's gay or black or whatever. But you know, I will use whatever to whatever at my disposal to roast you. But, and especially if you're in all these communities and group chats praising the fact that you're pansexual and fucking whatever walks on this earth and getting fucked by whatever walks on this earth, fuck yeah, I'm gonna roast you with it. But don't for a second think that I hate him because he's a pansexual. I hate him because he's a dickhead, and I'm using the fact that he's pansexual against him.
Naturally. No, that's good. The reason why I bully some of these guys is because back in the day they were all BWG fan club members, you know. They were roasting us on Salt, they were roasting us in game with how many posses they had, and to me, it's for people that have been there since the beginning to now, like Dutch, it's been beautiful to watch. It's literally the biggest story of the bully fucks the bully, you know. And I find it hilarious. I really do. Still, you don't stop commenting. Shut up, bitch. Okay, shut up. Sorry, he keeps commenting.
You're annoying.
He's annoying me. He just Still you looters. But yeah, I mean, is there anything you guys wanna cover or wanna talk? Because I mean, my questions are kind of, I'm all out of questions now. So, is there anything you guys wanna say to the community or your enemies as a whole?
Well, our enemies can suck a fat one. You know, come see us. We can do a schedule of 7 versus 7, but no one has actually ever agreed to that shit. But we wanted to talk about Brian and all that stuff, but I'm drinking, so I have a fucked up bladder, so I have to go take a piss. But after that, we can go talk about Brian real quick.
You have a piss? We'll talk about Brian after.
Yeah, man, I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
We'll talk about Brian after. Oh shit. Oh, this still you loot. He's on the comments here. Why are you ducking my 1v1? Because I'm doing an interview, you stupid arsehole. It's like that's why, bro. I mean, it isn't like I'm making excuses. Are you not watching the screen? Okay, we got Warhorse. The Salt Lord is leaving. I think she's on about Dutch. You said anytime ho. Yeah, I did say anytime. Straight after. How's that still you do? I'll send you an invite, bro.
We'd be happy to regulate, yeah.
Yeah, you won't turn up. You won't turn up. You won't turn. Go and polish Alan's shoes, innit? Those crappy fucking flip-flops that he wears.
Knob like you've been doing.
Alan's the sort of motherfucker who's got painted black toenails. Shut up, still you loot. Okay. It's just the hate is real.
So my favorite thing to do is to make Shires type paragraphs.
Oh yeah.
Damn, you sound alty, Rivers. I think you need to put an S in front of that. Still you loot. It's salty, not alty. Jesus, not only are you shit at the game, you can't spell either.
He told Owen that he's a drug dealer, but for a drug dealer, he spends a lot of time on Facebook.
What, still you loot? He's a drug dealer?
Yeah.
Come on!
He's probably dealing fucking diabetes medicine because he's such a fat fucker himself, but...
Still you loot, I feel bad for you because you joined a sinking ship. Okay.
He's easily the best player they have. I mean, that's not saying much, but That's what I think about it.
Yeah, man. Definitely, like,
but
you know,
if you compare him to Alan Shires, there's not much to compare him to.
Yeah,
To
the
be-
bar
Yeah.
isn't set very high, but he's a solid player for that team.
yeah, man.
To be
Definitely.
fair, thinking about it now that you say that, when I thought Vengeful Fang, Still Your Loot probably actually is their best player. Actually thinking about it, he probably actually is their best player. So
He is.
well done, Still Your Loot. You're the best player of a shit crew.
I mean, they don't have a lot of players, but he is easily their best player. Like, granted, mostly like most of his kills are running around in slippery, getting close with a shotgun, which like I despise that tactic, but it works. It's fine, you know. He's their best player, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I don't actually have anything personal against him. You know, I get that he's standing up for Shires, but eventually, like everyone in the past, he's gonna see Shires as a punk, and he's gonna leave Shires. He probably won't join any of us because we've already, you know, had beef with him now. But
Yeah.
he won't be with Vengeful Fang until the end of this game.
He won't
Definitely
be.
not.
Come on, Still You Loot. Come and bend the knee. We know you want it, bro. Just come and bend the knee. Just come and bend the knee, and it'll be good.
Just join the Griefer Gods or some shit, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
come
they
on,
suck
Still You
ass
Loot.
too, but at least
Alan's-
they're not losing like Shires.
What's Alan gonna do? Send you perm fucking tips? Come on, bro. Okay.
Nah, he's gonna throw a hatchet at him. You remember Shire saying what was it, Mississippi? You could easily hit something 20 yards.
Yeah, 20 yards away with a hatchet, a bullseye.
20.
Throws hatchets for fun.
Bro, Johnny tried to 1v1 Shires, yeah? He brought 3 of his guys with him. He got them to run fucking Landon's Patience and all that shit. He wouldn't agree to normal rules. He wanted to use dynamites and explosives. He killed, I think in the end it was like 8-9 with explosive arrows, and he tries to claim it as like a win, and it's like Johnny just wanted to kill him. It was literally Johnny versus the Vengeful Fang, you know? He's crazy. Let me try and get some of Alan's comments up here on Blackwater Times, because they've blocked me now. I can't comment on Blackwater Times, I can't comment on Dead Rabbit's page. They also blocked me. You know, they want to dish it out, they don't want to give it out. Let's have a look. Let's read his comments because they are funny. I mean, we may as well have a laugh about it. Blackwater Times.
They're definitely in Shires Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the real life threats he's making to everybody on here, it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious, it's up there. Where are they?
I'm assuming that's who we have in the live chat is Alan Shires under Vengeful Fang.
I guess that's
I'd like
Alan.
to.
How you doing, Alan? How you doing, bro? You alright?
Yeah.
That's really
It's either Alan or Boris the bitch.
Boris the bitch, the guy that never comes online.
Yeah, the barbarian blood.
Right, this is one comment from Alan on Blackwater Times. Brian Gosvener. Allow me the first to have this to say. I don't give a fuck about your military service, your good intentions, or legal action. What goddamn thing of mine gets hacked at all, and I'm showing up at your fucking house and putting my real life hatchet to work until you spill the beans on who did it. That's it. That's one comment of Alan. I literally sit around throwing hatchets and axes for fun. Guaranteed bullseye within 20 yards. If you knew anything about me outside of online video games, the statement wouldn't even cross your fucking mind. And that's all I've got to say about that. I mean, I'll tell you what, Alan, I'm shitting myself.
Hit him,
Well,
hit him with the Forrest Gump at the end. That's all I got to say about that.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious. I love his comments.
He definitely has to throw hatchets because he could never reach someone with a hatchet because his arms are too fucking little.
Bro, I've never
But-
even seen him use express frames, let alone a fucking hatchet. Okay, so anyway, you was going to expand on Brian and Los Hombres and all that good shit. So what's your thoughts on the way how certain players, I mean, they got Rambo Country with them. He's an ex Greencoat. He's with them. They got Redneck. He's an ex Blackwater Griefer. We took a couple of their players like
The fact that they have Redneck, Rambo Country, Nelbam, and Coffin Colby in there kind of proves the fact that they'll take whoever they can get. But as far as Brian goes, I never actually had a problem with Brian himself. You know, we've always kind of had like a mutual respect. I never had a problem with him himself. Because now I understand he never actually planted spies in the Unforgiven. It was always other Blackwater griefers acting of their own accord or whatever. Because I've also seen screenshots in the Los Hombres chat of him, you know, the Los Hombres aren't really a crew, but let's face it, if you would appoint a leader there, it would be Brian. And he there stated he's not getting involved. If anyone else wants to get involved, that's their business, but he has no beef with us, so I have no beef with him. But any other Los Hombres member, apart from Ray, who I'm okay with her, you know, she's a cool
Bro, you
girl.
just want that Instagram. Come on, you just want that Instagram.
I'm
I
not
want
on
that
Instagram.
Hey, you know what I'm doing.
Right.
No, but like we were fighting them like 2 days ago, and she was actually there for the entire fight, but she didn't do anything. She was just there chilling. So I don't know if she was actually like hacking our IPs or anything, or just being in the session. But she didn't actually fight us, so like, I don't have anything against her.
Ray is like a few other women players in the group, and that's no disrespect to you, Mississippi, or real players of the game. Ray is just a posse hopper. She just goes from group to group going, look how fine I am, look at my screenshots, and everybody's like, oh, join in our crew because you're pretty. It's like, do you know what, Ray, I ain't got time for your bitch ass. I don't give a fuck if you look like a barn door or a fucking hammerage. It's just like, you're not welcome here because you're a posse hopper. You know, that's the kind of way I feel about like Ray, Helena, and all these other people that kind of try and the girl from Red Dead Syndicate, what's her name? Angelica Hanshai, fucking, you know,
Yeah,
like,
Lady Ozarka.
Yeah, Lady Ozarka, although to be fair, she's a real decent player. You know, she can paint it black with the best. I mean, she is legit good. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, we got a message here from Bulgarian. It's directed towards me. Ratty, lying again, bitch? Question mark. Do you know what, Bulgarian? Here's a little speech to you. You haven't been on the game. I fought your crew several times. You're not there. Okay, so shut the fuck up. Go and get a new alphabet. Okay, I don't care. You're putting messages on here, but where are you? Where are you? You're nowhere. So you can shut up.
He's got everybody blocked.
Yeah, you got everybody blocked, bro. I had you on friends list. You blocked me. Same with Pedro. Okay, you're little bitches. You were washed out. You joined the wrong crews. Get over it. Bye bye. Anyway, so you know, what's your thoughts on the remaining sort of Red Dead Syndicate members like John Britton and Milk Duds? I mean, do you guys war with them, or what's the story with them?
Honest, I don't really know most of them. I've run into John Britton is Deadeye Santa, right?
John Britton is Deadeye Santa.
Yeah, I've run into him once actually. Funny story, that was in Van Horn. We were actually fighting a bunch of randoms, and like, I'm sure you guys see it the same way, but if you're fighting randoms or enemies or whoever, you see someone spawn in, you shoot them. You know, you shoot them, and after that you check out who the fuck they are. And that's what happened. We saw Deadeye Santa, and he was with Mrs. Klaus or some shit, so we shot her too. And then we fought with them for a little bit. Eventually they left, but like, you know, that pretty much was just a misunderstanding, and I don't know them. I don't know about you guys or beef with them, and I don't really care about that shit. And who was the other person you asked about?
The other it was just about those Milk Duds and the RDS players. I mean, Lady Ozarka's part of them.
He's with Deadeye. He's with RDS.
Yeah, Red Dead Syndicate.
I've seen him send me a friend request, and basically I guess that means he would like to jump me, but like, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't accept random friend requests. But, you know, if you wanna have a fight with us, you know, send me a message on Facebook. I won't be able to respond until tomorrow. You know, make an appointment with my secretary. I'll get back to you. Because my post block actually ends in a couple of hours.
Your Facebook ends in a couple of hours. What do you guys, have you guys had any run-ins with the regulators, the Heartland regulators? I mean, they make out they're a big thing and they've got this whole redneck revolution going on, but the truth is when they turn up for battle there's like 2 to 3 of them. But have you had any run-ins with them at all? They normally turn up when the Los Hombres call them and they come to help them.
Yep, that's what happened 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago.
Yep.
They showed up and we left because we had already been fighting for an hour and a half, and they had called in, I think, 4 or 5 posses.
Yeah, I mean, there's an assload of posses they pulled in there.
That's what they do. That's what they do. I mean,
they can't stand on their own.
We've kind of, in HHR, we've kind of changed our approach a little bit because we used to always have this rule where we wouldn't parlay anybody. But the point is that we're not, like you said before, Dutch. We're there to fight Los Hombres. Why should we basically let these people like the regulators come into a 2-hour battle with E-rounds and all that good shit and then basically get their kills and make a stupid ass video over it? So now what we do is if we're there to fight Los Hombres, we parlay them so they can't have their fun, you know? Because why should we allow them to come light us up and then basically get their little shitty videos that they clip? But yeah, they're attached to, the way I see it is they're a nothing posse. There's like 3-4 of them. Yep. They're not rolling deep, and they come in and they try and help Brian, you know, and Stempy. In fact, going on to Stempy, have you guys had any dealings with Stempy from the Los Hombres?
Not really, actually. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like in the beginning, I've commented some shit about him. About his situation, you know, with his past and shit, but to be honest, after that shit, like, I don't know him in real life, so I'm not judging on that shit, but he seems to have tried to change his ways, and I can respect that. So, like, you know, I'm not gonna go after him or try to discredit him. We have some other members in our group that have went after him on social media, but that's their business. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah. I mean, another subject to tap on, I mean, is, I mean, you're the same as us. You've learnt from past discussions not to have alliances. HHR, it's in our rule book that we don't have alliances, but we kind of respect you lot, and you guys kind of, I hope, respect us back. And I think the reason for that is that we're 2 legit gangs, right?
Yeah.
You know, you guys run the black, you guys run, you know, your own shit, we run our own shit, and to be honest with you, if Los Hombres and all that are calling on all these other mercenaries against you, you know, I'm more than happy to spawn in with a load of HHR fighters and level the playing field. And it isn't because we're licking your ass, and it isn't because you're licking our ass, because we don't have group chats with you guys, you don't have group chats with us. You know, you're doing your thing, we're doing our thing. But at the same time, that mutual respect there is that these same posses, Dead Rabbits, Los Hombres, all of them, they're all coming at us together, so it kind of makes sense that, well, fuck it then, we'll come at you together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all this time, Shires has been talking shit whenever whenever HHR and the Unforgiven gang team up. You know, and it wasn't even necessary because we were already kicking their ass. Even with the Los Hombres, we were already kicking their ass. But, like, you know, the reason that you and I, like, we fight together is because we hate the same people and we're actually friends. So yeah, fuck it. Why not, you know, clue each other in whenever we're fighting some punk ass bitches?
Exactly, because too long have Unforgiven and HHR been fighting wars on different fronts, you know, because we're legit, we have respect, we have honour, we have code, and we stick to that. But if these guys are going to come at us with 3 different gangs at once, then fuck it, we'll come together with 2 different gangs, and they'll be legit gangs, they'll be formed gangs with respected members. And, you know, I remember that night when we loaded in and you guys were fighting the Crown Killers and Vengeful Fang, right? I mean, that was beautiful. We teamed it, we spawned in, you guys were sitting at camp, you were resupplying, you guys had already battled them heavily for ages, outnumbered and shit, and you did a real good job. We came in, up to the numbers, and then what happened? They left in 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes. 10 minutes because they're pussies. It's okay, they just want to outnumber people.
And then they had the audacity to claim that they left to go and make money, and then after that I seen a video of Shires of him with zero, like he had a couple of dollars, and then he shot a horse, and he had his money actually went negative. Like I know for a fact that tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week when the update drops, Shires is gonna be pissed. He's not gonna be able to do shit, and he's gonna sit around and claim, yeah, I didn't buy this game to play a role. I bought this game to fucking shoot people. Well, then shoot people. You know, don't blow them up constantly with dynamite arrows. You know.
In every video, it's dynamite arrows.
Yeah.
Every video.
He made a compilation of killing me with dynamite arrows, you know, and like, I never made a compilation of killing him. I have full fights uploaded that show me killing him with regular ammo while he's using dynamite arrows, and he's still claiming to what? To kick my ass?
Bro,
No,
he legit uploaded he legit uploaded a whole video directed towards you, Dutch, and it was about 2 minutes long, and in this video it was literally like edited clips of him firing dynamite arrows, and in his mind that's what he calls impressive. It's like you've literally edited out like 8 kills with dynamite arrows. It's like, come on, Shires, you're not going to get any respect for that. You're going to have to at least kill people 4 or 5 deep with a rifle or something to get that kind of respect, you know? It was funny. I watched it and I just laughed at it. I just laughed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was actually, the video itself, I think, was... You know what? I'm going to go check it out real quick if it's even still online.
Oh,
but,
bro, it's
like,
funny.
All the funny thing is about his video is whatever the length the actual video is, it's not that long because it has a lot of in-between editing, you know, like the special effects and the cartoonish shit.
Exactly,
you know?
that take up like 30 seconds or something, so it's even added to the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I know for a fact, like, I'm not gonna sit around and actually do that shit, but if I would go back and edit all the kills that I have gotten on him without fucking dynamite arrows and explosive ammo, my video would be a lot longer. Well, okay, it wouldn't be longer because I wouldn't edit fucking cartoon effects into it, but like, if you would put all his kills on me, all my kills on him, just a video of that, my video would be probably at least twice as long, and I didn't even use explosive ammo. Like, I used dynamite arrows on him back when we were in that fucking make-believe alliance, and that was only because I was outnumbered.
Yeah.
Every time that we fought him, I was the only one of the Unforgiven gang there, and he had a full posse. And I remember, like, the time that we fought him out in the bayou. Remember that they had that fight league shit. And we jumped them, and I was actually by myself, and you guys were over in a different part of the bayou, and I was dealing with the fucking dead rabbits. Well, not dealing. I'm not gonna lie, they were kicking my ass. You know, they were using explosive ammo while they were free.
Of course they were.
One enemy. Yeah, and. You know, that's about it, you know, and the rest of the fight, I used a couple of explosive arrows and slippery and shit, you know, and then he claimed that I live in slippery and you only use dynamite arrows. So after that, you know, when we got out of the alliance and we had our own shit going on, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna use regular ammo on his ass, even if he's using dynamite arrows, even if he's using explosive ammo, he's not gonna be able to claim that shit again. And that's exactly what it is. That's why he won't 1v1 me. He claims that he will 1v1 me, but like, we have the evidence, you know. We told him up front, we told him we're spawning in there with a posse because we don't trust you, you know. They're gonna go into defensive mode. I'm gonna disband the posse. It's gonna be a 1v1. He immediately started shooting people even before we fucking materialized into that session.
Yeah.
He never had any plans on doing a 1v1 because he knows he's gonna get his ass kicked.
Yeah. Alan's never going to put himself in a 1v1 situation. I mean, he said some shit to me over... He said some shit that he was voted the best player in the league. It's like, really? I mean, who was voting? 6-year-olds? Fucking Jesus.
The new Hanover News Network.
Yeah, exactly, you know. But I mean, I was in the old Alliance chat with you, Dutch, and there was a lot of characters in there. I mean, one of them was BSV. I mean, Andy, he set up the whole chat and he kind of had the power over the adminship, but very quickly people in the BSV and people outside the BSV like yourself, that I mean Andy, I've got no ill feelings toward Andy because he always fought against the people that we don't like, so I've never got anything bad to say about him in that point of view. But he was a real whack leader. I mean, he was very much talking to the BWG all the time, weren't he? He was fucking up our plans and shit like that, and we kind of had to just ditch Andy, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
it's a joke.
He's kind of went underground. He doesn't really say anything anymore. I mean, they're the owners of the Salt page. What's it called? Saltland or something? Saltland? Is that familiar?
Land of Salt.
Oh,
Land of Salt. Land of Salt. Yeah, he arranges that. But legit, the thing with Andy is Johnny was the main admin on Salt, and we had 500 members at that time. And Andy kind of, because Johnny got banned, Andy kind of tried to think that he could take control over all of it, but he was foolishly mistaken. Because what happened is, as soon as Johnny come off Facebook ban, Johnny chucked Andy. Then Andy was all up in our inboxes begging to be allowed back on his admin, and we were like, nah, you fucked that up, bro, you know, and so on. And it was the same with his members as well. I mean, Andy, I like him, but he was a bad leader. You know, he would leave his crew in fights. I mean, I'll never forget when we was fighting the BWG. He left our posse and disbanded it. And then he jumped into a BWG posse to fight against us as a joke. You know, he wasn't a very good leader, and that's why I could never stand by Andy. It wasn't some betrayal shit, it wasn't some dishonest shit. I couldn't back a guy that was as scatty as him, you know?
Yeah, I feel that shit for real.
He was too sporadic, and then I left the Alliance chat, and then eventually everybody left the Alliance chat. Chris Grimm, he joined it, Dutch left it, and he kind of just got washed away in the whole tsunami of it all, you know?
Yeah.
But
and
still,
he isn't a bad kid. He's just young, and I don't know. I don't really have the right words for it at the moment, but you know, he's just young, and he just wants to be loved, I guess.
Yeah. But unfortunately, his love came with talking to all of our enemies. I mean, and we was in an Alliance chat trying to defeat these people on social media and in game. And Andy was he was letting the team down. You know, he kept on passing them information. He kept talking to them. You know, and it just led to like a big fallout. And then Bear Jew, he went over to Blackwater Griefers. Scott Laxon tried to go over to BWG, didn't happen. Eventually come to us. Then he jumped ship to Los Hombres, and the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
But okay, man. I mean, we're pretty much wrapped up here. I've asked you guys all the questions I can ask you. So, unless any of you guys have got anything you want to say, I'm gonna wrap it up now.
Oh yeah, just in the beginning you said like that I'm the leader and these guys are members to just clarify things.
Yeah.
These are all leaders. We have our system works this way. We have 7 leaders. We made it that way. We actually started with 5 and then we expanded to 7, kind of like, you know, so that you can fill a whole posse with all your leaders.
Right.
But also so that if shit ever gets put to a vote, we can't have a tie, but usually we're all on the same page. Usually. But like, you know, these guys kind of elected me as, like Genova put it, as I'm the supreme leader, but I don't see it as well. You know, these guys, they all have as much to say as I have.
Yeah, right.
We all balance each other out.
So you run your group as a democracy within the 7 council members, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yes.
I might be like the front man when it comes to, like, you know, on social media and shit, but behind the screens we're all in this shit together.
Right. I mean, that's the way it's got to be. I mean,
he's the face of it anyway.
you could agree.
I can't help it that I'm handsome, you know.
I don't know about all that.
Well, look, listen, Unforgiven. I mean, I'm big fans of y'all. I think you're a great gang. You stand on principle, and you're closed up, and I like all the good shit you're doing, and keep being you, because it gets noticed. You know, people want to join the Unforgiven because they see that you're closed knit. The same way I think people, you know, want to join hopefully HHR because we're the same way. So good shit, and it's been a pleasure interviewing you all. And like I say, man, if any of those gangs like to try and buddy up against you, you know how to send that invite.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, anyway, I'm going to end this interview now. This has been a TT.
Let me do a shout out.
Go on in, bro.
Pedro, Alan, Brian, Stempy. Fuck you all.
Killer
Come
dog.
find us.
Killer dog, you're still on my list. This impact, bitch.
Nah, we're cool with Killer Dog now, man. We don't have any issue with it.
Killer Dog and I are going to do a 1v1 where our schedules haven't quite lined up lately, but we're going to have that soon.
My people are shooting someone outside. I can see people shooting people outside. Alright, well this
Yeah, I'm
has
gonna
been
go handle that.
This has been a TT exclusive. Thank you very much to the Unforgiven gang, Dutch Lens, Mississippi, Fuzzy Bear, Impact, Genova. Really appreciate you taking an hour and a half out your time to speak to us. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the battlefield in the future and shit.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for your time, guys. Appreciate it.